Do you need really expensive equipment to be able to start for the first time with your home recording project? Well, the quick answer to that one is no. And today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 tips about how you can get started with your home recording projects. Let's go. Number 1, you need to try not to replicate studio quality. What do I mean by that? If you take a commercial release, there has been perhaps tens of thousands of dollars put into it if we're talking about a chart release. There might have been hundreds of hours of time spent to produce that track. The chance of you being able to replicate that at home is low. That doesn't mean that your product at home is going to be bad all the time, but I think changing what the aim is going to help you to get started with the project. When I first started, the first thing I would do after I made the mix, I would compare it to a commercial release, and there's instant disappointment because it doesn't sound like it. That doesn't mean it's bad though. Number 2, you need to get started buying some simple equipment. This does not need to cost thousands of euros or dollars. It can be simple. Take the basics. If you are a guitar player and a singer and you want to record some vocals and some guitar playing, you need to have a microphone. In fact, you actually need one microphone because to be able to record the sounds, you can just record them separately. So you only need one. So start simple, work your way up. The worst thing is if you buy all the stuff to begin with and then you realize that it doesn't work for you or you want to modify it, it sucks. So don't do that. Number 3, you need to think about a DAW. Not like a DAW. You need to think about a DAW. D-A-W. It's a digital audio workstation. What does that do? Basically, that is a piece of software that is on your computer that you download. And this is going to be where you are doing your mixing. You're going to be adjusting your settings. You're going to be changing everything you want about your sound. So it's a super important piece of your music production setup. Now, does that need to be paid for? Well, the answer is no, not at the beginning, because there's amazing software like Reaper. This is not sponsored by Reaper. Software like Reaper that to begin with you can get a free trial and you can start using it straight away. Why is that useful? Because you can see what kind of sound you're trying to do. Now, if you feel that that's not working for you or you need extra add-ons that Reaper can't give you, then obviously you can progress onto a paid piece of software. That's always an option for you. Number 4, you need to think about a digital interface. Okay, what is that? Basically, you will take your instrument, you will connect it through jack cables or any form of cable depending on what your instrument is, and you're going to need to connect that ideally first to an interface. Why? Because the sound quality will be much better. From that interface, you connect it into your computer where you can then modify it using your DAW, digital audio workstation. So super important piece of kit. You do not need to spend, again, thousands of euros or dollars to get started on this. You can, for example, I've got one interface, the Scala interface, which I've put link in the description or some information for you guys, where you can get this for a couple hundred, maybe even less, depending on where you live. And this is a super cool way to get started. You can have 2 input ports, and you can basically, what that means is you can record 2 inputs at the same time. To begin with, you don't actually need more than that because you can multi-track by recording 2 instruments, 2 instruments, 2 instruments, 2 instruments, and then modify it all in your DAW. Number 5, this might be the most important one, but it's also the hardest one. You need to start. Humans are great, we're built in with this inertia thing, where the hardest thing is actually to start. I encourage you, do not think about every single thing that your mix is not doing or everything that you can't do or blah, 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 because you will never start. So at the end of the day, the hardest thing is to actually start. And just to end the video, I wanted to share with you a quote that might give you a bit of motivation to get yourself started. It's from a lady called George Eliot. She was a writer from the 1800s in the UK. She actually had to pretend to be a man basically because, you know, sexism. But she said it's never too late to be who you were meant to be. So I kind of interpret that as, look, if you want to get started on a project, you might not have started it, but it doesn't mean that you should not. So look, get started. I'm going to be sharing with you more videos about my recording setup in the future. So stay tuned and see you soon. Bye.